It only took 5 months, but I finally got my money. Hey guys, it's Olivia. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm not going to leave you guys in suspense. I'm just going to tell you the number up front. On October 7th, 2024, I got paid $67.83 from Etsy. But if you guys want to know a little bit more, like what I sold and how much fees Etsy took, keep on watching. So quick background information, I started my Etsy shop 2 years ago, technically, but I kind of just uploaded a couple of things and then didn't look at it for 2 years. And then on May 18th, 2024, that is when I started my current crochet business, as you can tell by all of the things I have behind me. And so when I talk about the timeline, I'm talking about starting on May 18th, 2024, because that is when I started my current business. And so as I said, the timeline has been 5 months because I started my business in May and now it's October and I finally got my first payment from Etsy. So let's break it down. So as you can see, we're in my Etsy account and I've set the date from September 12th to October 5th. So as you can see, between this time period, I got 421 visits, 3 orders, my conversion rate was 0.7%, and my revenue was $114. But I said I only got paid $67. So you might be thinking, oh my gosh, Etsy took 50% of your money in fees. No, that's not what happened. Stick with me. Before we get into the fees, if we go over to orders, you can see I got 1 order on the 12th, and then none, and then back up to 1 on October 4th and on October 5th. So the October payout date was October 7th, and these 3 orders all came in before October 7th. Therefore, I got the payment for all 3 of those orders in one. So basically, my orders from September and October were combined into one payment. So if we go over to my monthly statements, let's start by looking at September 2024. So you can see that my net profit for September 2024 was $17.58. But if we look at my sales, you can see that I had a sale of $59. So essentially I sold one item for $54, but then I charged $5 for shipping. So then 54 plus 5 is 59. But then obviously if we go over to fees, Etsy had to take out their fees. But you also have to take into consideration the fact that during September, I had also posted new listings. So each listing is 20 cents US, which is about 24 cents Canadian. By the way, all of the money I'm speaking about in this video is in Canadian dollars because I'm Canadian. So a listing fee is about 24 cents Canadian, and you can see that I was charged $1.62 in listing fees. Well, that's because when I sold something, the listing automatically renewed, so that was about 24 cents, but also I was listing new products throughout September. So when you look at these fees, the fees aren't just for what I sold, it's also for other items that I was creating and putting on my Etsy shop. But then that only adds up to $13.12. The big thing that took away from my $59 was marketing. So I have been running Etsy ads since June at $1 per day. And so during September, I spent $28.30 on Etsy ads. And so essentially, let's pretend I didn't make a sale in September. If you add the $13 in fees and the $28 in marketing, I would have been negative $41.42, meaning that's how much money I would owe to Etsy. But because I made a sale that was greater than $41.42, then my net profit was $17.58. So if September had come to a close and I hadn't made a sale, I would have had to pay Etsy money. But luckily my sale came through, but then when you're starting at negative 41 and then you sell something for 59, then you're only left with $17.58. So that's what it looks like for September. But then my other 2 sales came in at the beginning of October, right before the payout. So if we go over to October, my net profit was $50.25. So I made 2 sales in October on the 4th and the 5th, as I showed you earlier. And one sale was for $40 and the other one was for $20, which adds to $60. But then there was $5 for shipping on each, which is another 10, which equals the $70 in sales. So then the fees, the processing fees, and all of that stuff that Etsy does, plus I was posting new listings in October. And then you can see that for marketing during this time, I spent $8.74. And so when you subtract both of those numbers from the 70, you get $50.25. So if we go back to September, if we add the $17.58 to the $50.25, you get $67.83, which is ultimately what I got paid. So a lot of my profit was taken away, not by Etsy fees. Like if we add these two together, it was about $24 in Etsy fees, $13 in September, and $11 in October. However, most of the money that got taken away was from Etsy ads, which is something that I chose to turn on. And I spent $28 in September and $8 in October for a total of $36. So hypothetically, if I didn't run the Etsy ads, I would have been paid over $100 instead of $67. However, my first sale ever did come from my Etsy ads. So of the 3 sales that I've gotten, one of them, so 33% of all the sales I've ever had have been from Etsy ads. So despite the fact that I spent a lot of money on Etsy ads and therefore my overall payout was lower, I wouldn't have gotten that initial sale without the ad. So I feel like it balances itself out. In September, I had spent $28 on ads, but then it got me a $59 sale. So then I made back more than 2 times the $28 that I spent. So I feel like it worked out. And this is not me saying that you need to spend money on Etsy ads, because my next 2 sales, one of them was from me sharing a TikTok. So someone saw my TikTok and then went over to my Etsy shop and purchased from me. And another one was just finding me through Etsy search. So this is not me saying that you need to run Etsy ads to get sales, because 66% of the sales that I've had within this time period were either from me promoting myself or me being found organically through Etsy search. So yes, I just wanted to share this with you. I know that on YouTube, everyone always talks about their first YouTube paycheck. And I do have one of those videos right here if you want to watch it. And that video was from my other channel, but I digress. I know that lots of people talk about their first YouTube paycheck, but I was like, what if I talk about my first Etsy paycheck? And obviously it's not a physical check, but you know what I'm saying. This channel is me basically documenting the growth of my crochet business. And we have finally gotten paid. And so I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's not a whole bunch of money, but it is something. So I've set my Etsy payments to pay me every month, simply because I don't get that many sales. I opened my shop in May and didn't get my first sale until September. So you can make your Etsy pay you out daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. And I've chosen monthly simply because my sales are few and far between currently. And so I'd rather just get the lump sum instead of here and there. If in the future my shop starts getting more sales on a regular basis, then I might choose to get my money deposited into my account more regularly. But for now, it's once a month. And my first ever scheduled payment was on October 7th. And this is another thing that new sellers may not know, and it could be different depending on your bank situation, but I was reading online that when your payment gets sent, it can take a few business days before the money actually hits your bank account. But for me, the money was sent on October 7th and it hit my account on October 7th. Yes, it hit in the evening. It hit around 6 or 7 p.m. But the point is, For me, this is just my personal experience. It might be different depending on who you bank with, but for me, the day that my payment got sent is the same day it hit my bank account. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that in case you're curious about the timeline of when the money will actually hit your account. And for me personally, it was the exact same day. So yes, that's this video. I just wanted to share this milestone with you guys. I got my first payment from Etsy, and it's not $1 million, but $67, I will take it. So yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. If it was, give it a thumbs up. If you think your friends will enjoy it, we should share it with them. The link to my Etsy shop will be in the description in case you want to buy something from me. And I will see you guys in my next video.